Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're decoding a system that's honestly so deeply embedded in your daily routine, you probably don't even notice it's happening. We're looking at how the absolute biggest companies in the world are quietly betting your entire financial life on a monthly bill.
Okay, let's dive into this. I want to challenge you right now. Have you checked your bank statement recently? And I don't mean just, glancing at it. I mean really looking past the huge purchases, past the rent, the mortgage, or that car payment, and closely examining the little lines in between.
Specifically, I want you to look for the small, recurring numbers on that screen. A $9.99 charge here, a $14.99 charge there. We've been completely conditioned to just accept these as standard convenience fees, just the everyday cost of living in the modern world, right? But in reality, these small, seemingly harmless numbers are the absolute quietest, most highly efficient way your money is being drained away.
Which brings us to Section 1, the invisible money drain. We're officially moving away from actually owning our tools, our media, or our software. As the saying goes, we have transitioned from an era of ownership to an era of permanent rent. Let the gravity of that shift just sink in for a second. We're fundamentally changing what it means to be a consumer today. Let's look closer at this in Section 2, the end of ownership.
And this brilliantly illustrates the point. To really grasp this huge shift from assets to access, we just have to look at how we used to buy things. Think back a decade or so ago. The 2005 asset meant if you bought Microsoft Office, you bought a physical product in a box. You owned that license outright until the CD literally broke or your computer completely died. But today, tech giants realize selling you a product once is great, but charging you every single month for modern access, well, that guarantees compounding corporate wealth. They completely stopped selling products and started selling access through the software as a service, or SaaS model.
Because the catch is, once you're inside their ecosystem, you're not really a customer anymore. The cost of entry is low, but the cost of exit is your entire digital history.
So, with all this permanent rent piling up, why don't we just hit cancel? Section 3, the psychology of autopay.
It really all comes down to two specific psychological triggers companies use against us. The first is subscription fatigue. This is the literal psychological exhaustion of managing multiple, constantly recurring monthly payments. We sign up for endless free trials, and eventually it just mentally wears us down trying to keep track of who we owe and exactly when they're going to charge us. The second trigger is autopay amnesia. We completely forget to cancel a service, we finally notice the charge hitting our account, and our immediate knee-jerk reaction is to just rationalize it away. We tell ourselves, oh well, it's only $10. It just feels too small to really worry about in the moment. But let's actually run the hard math for a second here. $10 spread across 10 forgotten or barely used services comes out to $1,200 a year. That's not just pocket change anymore. That is a massive, tangible hit to your net worth that's just vanishing automatically into thin air. And just notice the sheer contrast in the user experience they built. Signing up is this beautiful, frictionless, one-click process explicitly designed to get you in instantly. But leaving? Oh man, that requires navigating a total maze of AI customer service bots, super aggressive retention offers, and endless hidden menus. Make no mistake, companies actively, intentionally design this friction into the cancellation process. They're literally betting on your laziness. It's a brilliant but entirely predatory business strategy. Let's move to Section 4 and see how this builds into the broader picture, the rental economy.
To see this economic shift in action, just look at a giant like Adobe. That smaller bar represents their old, one-time Creative Suite sales. The software you actually owned. But look at that massive, exponentially growing bar right next to it. That is their recurring Creative Cloud revenue. Adobe essentially forced this transition onto their users. Did creative professionals actually want it? No. Did they have a choice? Also no. If you're a professional relying on their tools, you're now effectively forced to pay permanent rent just to keep your very own working files accessible.
And trust me, this transition isn't an accident. Wall Street absolutely loves the subscription model for a few key reasons. It perfectly predicts cash flow, it creates an incredibly sticky customer base, and it stabilizes corporate revenue because they know for a fact it's simply too painful for you to leave.
You are locked in, and they have the keys. But let's pivot to Section 5, taking back control.
So, the crucial point here is that you really don't have to stay locked in. It's time to empower yourself, escape this trap, and finally audit your digital life. Step 1. Do a full, ruthless audit. List every single recurring payment on your bank statements. Step 2.
For every single item, ask yourself, am I using this as a tool to generate income, or is it just a luxury I've simply forgotten about? And step 3, consolidate. Do you really need 5 different streaming services? Cancel the excess, and wherever possible, switch over to free open-source alternatives.
The biggest takeaway I want you to leave with is this. Stop treating your personal finances as a set-it-and-forget-it system. Your money is your most important asset. Please, do not let a series of tiny $10 bills lead to massive financial leakage over time. Always remember that this entire ecosystem is mathematically, purposely designed to make you pay for the exact same thing over and over and over again.
Which leaves us with one final, deeply provocative question for you to chew on. Will you continue to be the product, or will you be the consumer who chooses? Take back control of your subscriptions today. If you found this explainer valuable and you want to keep digging into the invisible systems that rule your money, make sure you're subscribed. I'll see you in the next one.